I'm Ashley Dvorkin with Fox411.com movie reviewer Justin Craig, here to tell us about the new Clint Eastwood directed, Bradley Cooper led film based on a true story, American Sniper. Justin, welcome.
Thanks.
Tell us the story behind this film.
Sure, it's based off of Chris Kyle's autobiography. Chris Kyle was a Navy SEAL who was on 4 tours in Iraq, and he became very famous for having the most sniper kills over his 4 tours, and infamous on the other side. He became a hunted man by throughout his almost 10 years in Iraq, and it's a harrowing story, and it's directed by Clint Eastwood, like you said, and stars Bradley Cooper. And I think that this is actually really a return to form for Clint Eastwood. I think he's made some poor choices in his directorial over the past couple of years. His films have been a little bit tepid, and this is actually a really, testosterone-filled, adrenaline rush of a film. But man, there's a lot of heart in here, and such a great performance by Bradley Cooper.
Let's talk about that. So, as you mentioned, a lot of heart, lots of action, and this is such a standout performance for him, which he has delivered a few lately. So, compare this role to some of the past that he's done.
I mean, in the past couple of years, we've seen the more dramatic side of Bradley Cooper. But, when I think of Bradley Cooper, I can't get The Hangover out of my head. He always plays, I always think of him as these either, too cool for school kind of guys, or this smarmy type of person, which we saw last year. But this is a completely different type of role for him. I mean, he is as heroic as you possibly can, and probably, you can't play a more noble person than Chris Kyle. And he goes back and forth between his tours in Iraq, where he's on point, on mission, and he has to really, take care of his men. But then when he's back home with his wife, who's played by Sienna Miller, she also gives a great performance in this. I mean, he's such a loving husband, but he's not completely 100% there, because he's still, part of him is left behind in Iraq, and he wants to go back. And we saw this, I mean, this must happen quite often, in real life, but in movie land, we saw this just a few years ago in Hurt Locker. It's a similar situation where, they come home and part of them just needs to get back. That's where they need to be. They need to defend the country and save our country, and that's their purpose. And so there's that kind of battle going on at home, whether he should be there with his wife and his family, or he should be with his brothers in Iraq and fighting to save our country. Yeah,
and then, you spoke about it in terms of Clint Eastwood's resume as a film. What about the style of this one, the look of it?
Oh, the look of it, I mean, it's pretty typical.
Very gritty, or is it?
It's not so gritty.
Okay.
I mean, and it's not like shaky cam type of stuff, which we've seen in more movies of late, which, like Steven Spielberg and Ridley Scott really took off the ground with Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down. It's not like that. It's a more calm and slow burn type of a film, and it's a character piece. It's not, there are action scenes, and those action scenes are very suspenseful and very intense, but it's not like those previous films. This is a much more stable character study than your shoot-'em-up action film.
And because it's a character study, as well as the plot, do you see this as a contender for award season?
Yeah, I'm sure this will be up for Best Picture, Director. SAG Awards just came out. Bradley Cooper wasn't nominated, which I was a little surprised, because, this is absolutely, definitely an award-worthy performance. So we'll see what happens in the next few weeks if Bradley Cooper gets up for an Oscar nomination.
Yes, we'll see. Award season just getting underway anyway. So the big question, would you recommend it for audiences heading out to the movies this weekend?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Chris Kyle's story is a famous one, and if you've read the book, absolutely see this film. So definitely recommend.
Great. Thank you so much, Justin. And you can find Justin's full review on Fox411.com. Of course, comment and tweet us at Fox411. Let us know your thoughts on this and all of the week's new movies. As always, thanks so much for joining us.